jumping up and down the floor.
Hi team, this is Chris Abraham from GOHmath. Today I'm going to look at not just the math MTELs, but I'm going to look at other exams, other teacher certification exams that involve mathematics, specifically part of our Angles series in geometry. We're going to look at the Florida State Certification Exam for grades 6 through 12. Now, we're going to look at some new problems. And the idea is that whether you're a teacher in Florida preparing for their teacher exams, or you're a teacher in Massachusetts preparing for the MTELs, or you're a teacher in New York State preparing for your teacher certification exams, the math is going to be the same. So hopefully you've been watching these this series of videos, particularly this is part I think 4 or 5 of the Angles series, and you're getting some ideas on how to solve these problems. This is an MTEL challenge problem that we're going to do now, which means I'm going to I want you to pause the video for a moment and try and solve it. And then I'm going to go through it, and I'm going to go through it fairly quickly because we've been talking about these concepts over the last several videos. And so there I want you to see how I problem solve at a much faster rate. So pause it now, make some observations, go through it. Okay, unpause. Alright, here we go. One of the things I notice when I look at this is the structure of this question is different than the MTELs. You've got a very short statement, a diagram, and the answers. And there's really no hidden curveballs here. You're being asked to do something very clear. In fact, they use as few words as possible. Find the measure of angle y in the figure. It's practically not even a question. It's like a statement. Do it. It's an order. And that's not like the MTELs. The MTELs, are a lot more trickier. Or at least for some MTELs, like the general curriculum math subtests, very tricky. But what's good about these order questions is that they cut through the basics, and they want you to know the basics. So we have this diagram, we're trying to find y, and y is going to be one of these right here. Now I'm hoping when you were going through this, right away you saw this involved supplementary angles. 2 angles that add up to form a straight line that add up to 180 degrees. So I'm going to go about just really quickly finding the supplements. 40 plus 140 equals 180, 80 plus 100 equals 180, 70 plus 110 equals 180. Alright, and I don't know what this one is here, but if I did know what that is, I could find the supplement of that and get to y. So most of this problem involves supplementary angles. The second half of this problem is hoping that you can find out the sum of all the angles that are inside this polygon, and it is a polygon, a closed shape. Well, how would I do that? Well, we have one method. One method, you could very quickly divide this into triangles. Oops. We got 4 triangles. So 4 times 180 times 4 gives us, what is that? 720. So I do know the sum of all the angles. Another way I could have used is this formula for the sum of the interior angles of a polygon. You take the number of sides minus 2 times 180. And for this one here it would have been 6 minus 2. That would be 4 times 180. And that also gets you your 720. Okay, with the 720, now I can start subtracting all these values here. So I might, to make my life a little easier, I might very quickly take 160 plus 100 plus 140. All right, here I got 100 I got 95, and I got 100. Okay, I add all these ones up here. Carry the 2, that's 510. Oh, sorry, that's 410. And then I got to add this amount here, 195. So 410, I'll just move over here, add these up. Oops, that's a 5. Basically what I'm asking you to do is add up Oops, that's 0 because that adds to the 9. Add up all these values and you get to 605. You notice that I made some mistakes here because of my lining up. Is that a bad thing? Well, I caught them, so that's a good thing, but also it reinforces the idea that you have to make sure that you line up all your numbers when you're doing subtraction or addition or any type of calculation. You got to be very careful. It's not a subtract. It's not an addition. I'm subtracting this because I know that something, my box, plus 605 adds up to a total of this. So I do the subtraction, doing my regrouping, and I get 115. And I don't see the answer here. And guess what? It's not supposed to be there because 115 is this angle. I'm trying to find a supplement. In this case right here, the answer would be 65. Now, I could check that because maybe I did that really quickly. And I check it. They carry here, you get that, and it works. It's 65! Yeah! Here's the idea in all this, alright? What I'm doing in this problem is I'm applying all the strategies I know. Being creative, applying different ways to solve the problem, and helping you get to the answer fairly quickly. Okay, team, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. This is Chris Abraham. Take care.
Jumping up and down the floor. My hair is an animal, and once there was an animal. It had a song.